I am right smack dab in the middle of a chemotherapy treatment. As many of you know, I'm not unfamiliar with chemotherapy. I've done a lot of it, probably way more than I should have. Over the last 5 years, I think this is number 61 for me. I probably could go through my notes and figure out exactly what that number is, but I don't want to. I feel like sometimes people dwell on those numbers, and when you dwell on those numbers, you remember how bad that it sucked. I'm not about that. I'm about finding the good in the suck. So I yesterday or yeah, last night, yesterday was a good day. Didn't start out that way though. Admittedly, when I woke up yesterday morning, I was in some pain. I was pretty grouchy. It's been over a month now since that lung surgery, and I'm still dealing with some pain, specifically where that tube was in my chest. Now it just got, I don't know, it's been 2 weeks now, but it still hurts a little bit, and probably the rehab that I'm doing, trying to get my arm back to where it needs to be, is aggravating it. I would expect though in the next 2 weeks or so that that pain should be gone, but for right now it's still there. So anyhow, so we went into the treatment center yesterday, and although I went in kind of with a somewhat negative attitude, it got better pretty quick. I've been going to that center for 5 years now, so formed some pretty good relationship with the girls that work there. It was good to see them kind of reconnect a little bit. But the best part for me was the fact that Lisa was able to join me. So she's doing an intermittent LOA now, and so she'll be joining me for every chemotherapy session for the next 6 months. It was fun. Just me and her. The pod wasn't very busy. They don't do a lot of chemotherapy on Fridays, so we had the pod to ourselves with nothing to do, just hanging out, no agenda. So that was good. Got done with the chemotherapy session. Probably only took about 3 hours yesterday. Now from here on out, it's going to be a little bit more because I'll be adding Avastin to that. So that'll probably be more like a 4 or 5 hour treatment, which again is fine. And then when we got home yesterday, no real agenda there either. Kids weren't here, just me and her. So started working on some home improvement projects around the house. Specifically, she was doing some home improvement projects around the house. Well, I kind of guided her through them, and I was her parts and tools runner, which is good, which is necessary because when you're on chemotherapy, you need to stay active. Specifically, the reason for that is when you do chemotherapy, you're usually given some steroids, and that steroids can wreak havoc on your blood glucose levels. So in order to keep those blood glucose levels in check, you need to keep moving. So a couple things you need to do there. The reason you need to keep moving is because like your muscles can actually act like sponges for that extra glucose that the steroids kind of tells your liver, hey, we're doing something here. Spike those glucose levels. But whenever you walk around and do some exercises, the muscles actually absorb some of those glucose levels, so you don't have that sugar high that you normally would. So hugely important. So I'm glad that we were able to do all that. In addition to that, I failed a little bit yesterday morning. I went off the keto diet just a little bit. I'm not sure why I did that. I guess I kind of like went back to old habits because in years past when I've done chemo, I was all about the carbs, 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 thinking the carbs would actually make me feel better. But no, I was so wrong. The keto is what makes you feel better. But for whatever reason, yesterday, I wanted to make sure that I took my pills early. So I had a bowl of cereal. And then during chemo session, I had some peanut butter crackers. But then as soon as we got home, we went strictly back on the keto. So no carbs, no sugar, and then started to feel a little bit better. The reason you want to stay on keto is because you want to maintain or you want to keep your blood glucose levels as low as they possibly can, knowing that the steroids is going to spike that later on throughout the day. I'm telling you, the blood glucose is what makes you feel bad. I had a great night last night. No pain, no illness, no nothing. I mean, the worst part of yesterday was the fact that I stayed well hydrated throughout the day, which means I went to the bathroom probably 20 times last night. So that kind of kept me up a little bit. But other than that, great night. So I'll be hooked to this bag. You're hooked to this bag for 46 hours. So my disconnect, or sorry, whenever we connected it yesterday was like 10:30. So tomorrow morning, Sunday morning, about 8:30, I'll be getting rid of this bag. And trust me, there is no better feeling than that. So Lisa will be doing the disconnect tomorrow since she is a trained nurse. Thankful for that. So I don't have to go anywhere. I don't have to wait for anybody to come here. Just fantastic stuff. Um, Last video, I kind of talked about my arm a little bit and how that's been going and how I've been getting like these twitches and it's just been kind of feeling weird and not really sure what that is. That has gotten better. I don't know if that's because of the rehab that I've been doing or maybe the extra steroids that I've been taking because of the chemo. Regardless, hasn't been an issue. So thankful for that. And seems to be getting a little easier to use. Still feels weird. Don't get me wrong. I still can't grip stuff, but I can still feel some progress there. I don't know if you can hear the dogs or not, but obviously someone's here delivering something. So sorry about that. What else? Made some significant progress. I think the last video was talking about maybe selling some t-shirts as a supplement income, trying to keep up with these cancer costs. Made some progress there. Next couple of days, I'm gonna be working on building websites and storefronts and all that kind of stuff. I don't want to go into too much detail yet until I actually buy those domain names, but got some fun, exciting stuff coming and can't wait to share it. All right, that's all I have for now. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.